नमस्कार, मैं आपका आलोक रंजन. We are going to discuss certain questions taken from oceanography. I have deliberately chosen oceanography because it is one of the most simplistic part of your syllabus, and it doesn't offer much challenges while we read oceanography, while we try to read the subjects of oceanography. Having said that, the significance of oceanography, if you try to analyze by looking at the number of questions which have been asked in the last 5 years, you will find that in 2014 there were three questions from oceanography. And in 1915 also there were one or two questions. 16, 17, 18 and 19 will have two questions from oceanography. Some of the questions which are supposed to be from oceanography have actually been asked from geomorphology. So some of the teachers and coaching institutes have actually misled in this particular regard. Whatever, our purpose today is to understand and to learn as to how a good answer shall be written and what is the composition of a good answer, how to score greater marks in geography, especially the physical geography, what is the role of maps and diagrams in geography, and especially when we deal with the subjects like topics like oceanography and climatology and India physical, etc. Now, there is very important point to be discussed that in one of my video lectures, I have provided an explanation over as to how to read a question and how to interpret a question. So must go and watch that particular video on how to interpret a question. Now, in that video, I have suggested that every question will have 4 parts. The first part is the interrogative term, like discuss, analyze, critically analyze. This is called interrogative term. And I have also suggested that as the interrogative terms are changed or replaced by another word, then the whole meaning and the whole demand of the question changes. So we need to understand as to what is the true meaning of analyze, describe, discuss, critically analyze. Until we understand their true and the grave meaning of these terms, we will not be able to differentiate as to what to write in a particular question. So, must go through that video. The second part of a question is the central theme. Central theme meaning the main topic, something which is subjectively integrated in your question, subjectively found in your question. Your introduction must begin with the central theme. Like you can take one example, say discuss the impact of thermal pollution on coral reef formations. Now in this particular question, coral reef is the central theme, but the demand of the question, which is a third important component of a question, is the impact of ecological impact. So if you read the entire question, the term discuss is the interrogative term, central theme is the coral reef formations, and the demand is the ecological impact. So a question can have these 3 parts. So if you go through my old video, you will find such discussions at length. Now the purpose of our class today is to how to write a world-class answer, or how to write a good calibrated, structured answer with use of scientific language, so that you can fetch great marks. Now, say we can write world-class answer. What is a world-class answer? If you look at the 10 years question bank from civil services examination or the PCS examinations, we can classify the questions into these categories. Like A, we have long type. B, we have medium type. C, we have short type. And D, the notes, the small notes. Now, long type question may consist of could be of, the long type question consists of 60 or 50 marks. Medium type will be 30 or 25 marks. Short type questions will be 15 to 20 marks, and notes will be 10 to 5 marks. This is how we classify. Now, number of words shall be, in the long type, maybe 600 words, medium type 300 words, and then in short type maybe 200 words. It could be 200 to 150, and then notes has to be 100 to 150 words. So this is how you can classify the questions in different categories. Now now in the first category, the long type, all the 5 components of a great answer shall be composed, and properly composed in the same sequential order. Now, what is this order for a great answer? This is a particular rhetoric, great answer, used by all the professionals in my field. So, a great answer will consist of 1, introduction, 2, definition or maybe a definitive statement, 3, significance of that topic, 4, the body, which is also called the demand. And this, what is this demand? This demand is the function of, your interrogative term into the substantive part. I will explain what is substantive part and what is interrogative term. Since I have made a video before this class, so please refer to that video. I shall not be repetitive. Now, then the 5th part is the conclusion. Now, conclusion also will have 2 different paragraphs. The first paragraph is called summation, where you sum up the entire writing. Say you are writing on a question like, provide a reasoned account of ocean currents of Atlantic. I am taking simple example. Provide the reasoned account of the currents of Atlantic Ocean. Now, what is the theme here, central theme here? Central theme is ocean current. What is the demand or the substantive part? Substantive part is the reasoned account. That's the demand. And what is the interrogative term? Interrogative term is the discuss. If you change it into, replace it with critically analyze. So let's imagine that the entire writing, the entire calibration of writing will begin to vary. Because in critical analysis, what we do, we are not supposed to do the same thing in discussion. Discussion will be of very general nature. And critical analysis will be about the pros and cons and the impacts, and it's a complex thing. So, the conclusion will have two parts. Summation. What is summation? So, in this particular question, discuss the reasoned account of, provide the reasoned account of the ocean current of Atlantic. Now, what is summation here? That as we talk about the currents of North Atlantic Ocean and we named them, we provided how they originate, and then we provided the account of the currents of the South Atlantic Ocean. Now, after providing all these accounts as the question demanded, so then we sum up. Now, how we sum up? We sum up something like, in the northern hemisphere, the ocean currents are clockwise, and in the southern hemisphere, the ocean current circulation is anti-clockwise. This is a kind of summary which you draw. Also, you can draw such summaries like the north, in the northern hemisphere, the currents are warmer up to the mid latitudes in the eastern margins of the continent, and along the western margins of the continents, the currents are generally, could be some exceptions, generally cold. So such kind of summation or conclusion has to be drawn. Now, after this conclusion, you have to write futuristic vision. Futuristic vision. Futuristic vision meaning you have to write on the contemporary issues, the current affair, your extra syllabic knowledge which you possess through by the reading of the Geography and You magazine or the Yojana or Frontline or Down to Earth. So such magazines or the Hindu newspaper, so they all provide substantial knowledge on the current issues related to various topics of geography. So maybe in one or two stray articles you'll find that even ocean current found a particular mention and there was something to be taken from that article. Say, I can give you one example that say I read in a Statesman that Gulf Stream alone has the capacity, as a current, alone has the capacity to meet the energy demand of United States. Now, this was something which has actually stricken my mind. So I just picked up this information, and this could be always poured in such questions in the examination hours. So you can do that. So you have to create a special space for these extra informations at futuristic vision when you end up a question. Now, continuing on answer writing, what is an introduction and how it should be written? So, introduction is the window, is the mirror, is the substance of your writing. Examiner is definitely going to read your introduction and you have to impress him. So when you write introduction, you have to be very thoughtful, very expressive, very eloquent, and you have to be very authentic and substantial. You cannot play with your verbal or the dictionary words and the literary words, the poetic words, because it's geography, it's quasi-science. So in introduction, you have to write beautifully in a scientific language and substantially and also authentically. Now, I am taking example of the same question. Our question was, provide an account of, a reasoned account of the ocean currents of Atlantic. I have taken a simple question. Now, in this question, our introduction should be about the ocean current. Right, because that is a central theme. So always begin your answer with the main theme of the question, the central idea of the question, the the introduction shall be always created around the main topic. Remember it, I'm trying to simplify the main topic. So main topic is ocean current. Now you have to write here something like about the dynamics of the ocean water and how the horizontal flow and the oscillatory systems are generated in an ocean. That will make a beautiful paragraph to begin with. The dynamics and thermodynamics of the oceans are controlled by the subaerial and the suboceanic forces. Ocean currents are the displacement of water over great distances in fairly defined direction. So such kind of introduction shall be created. So you have to write on the ocean current first. That's your central theme. Now the second paragraph, that is your definition. So in definition, I don't think in this particular question any definition is required. So you just need to have an introduction and then move to the significance, like how these ocean currents are important. What are the significance of these ocean currents? How they help maintaining the latitudinal heat balance, how they influence the ecosystem, and how the enormous quantum of energy is preserved with them, and how we can harness them for human welfare. So some significance shall be written. So first you have introduction and definition kind of a statement. Then second paragraph will consist of the significance. Then we'll move to the body. And what is body of an answer? It is the function of, as I said, it is the function of interrogative term and the substantial part. So substantial part here is the reasoned account of, account of meaning you have to enumerate like an accountant. How many ocean currents are there, you have to name them, you have to fix their locations, you have to talk about their, their length and width also. And so you are providing an account, but the question is demanding reasoned account of. Reasoned account meaning how these ocean currents are generated, are originated, and why they are found at the place they are found. So when you provide such scientific analysis on the origin of these currents, you will be getting good marks, you will be getting full marks, you are meeting the demand of the question, the real demand of the question. Now the same question can be divided into two parts. The reasoned account of the currents of North Atlantic, that will be your first part of the answer writing. Second will be the reasoned account of the currents of Southern Atlantic. So you have these two segments to write. Now when you write, then as I told you, you have to sum up and then you have to write on the futuristic vision. So that is what makes your answer writing very beautiful. And you can have 3 diagrams here. There shall be a world map showing all the currents. And in reasoned account, you must draw 2 diagrams. One, you have to talk about the Ekman's spiral law. I hope when you join the classes or when you take my classes, then I will be explaining every bit of the scientific laws which actually generates these currents. Now specifically I am telling you have to write on Ekman's spiral law and you have to draw diagram. And second, you have to talk about the pattern of wind, the global pattern of wind and the pressure belt, because these 3 are associated with the origin of the currents. And Coriolis force, as we talk about Coriolis force or the Coriolis effect, so Coriolis effect is already incorporated in the Ekman's spiral law. So we don't need to separately discuss Coriolis force as such. So this is what will make your answer look really good, with 3 diagrams, a world map and the genetic analysis, the causative factors, the reasoned account. And when you write, you must change paragraph beautifully and must create diagrams in alternative sectors. Like once you have created, say this is your answer sheet, you are writing here. Now create one diagram here D, keep writing on your left, then create another diagram D2, then keep writing towards your right. So that is what makes your answer beautiful, and that is what will have the decorative value for the answer also. Now, again, I'm coming back to these different types of question. We have already classified any answer or any question coming in civil services could have these 1, 2, 3, 4 dimensions. Long type question in civil services have been are not being asked. They are not really being asked. So long type questions era has ended. Now, most of the questions will be either medium sized or short questions, or some kind of notes will be there. So we will discuss more on what is a medium question and what is the demand of a medium question, what is a short question, and how a short note to be written. So let's be focused on these three now. In long type question, as I told you that all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments are required. But in medium type questions, we are not supposed to write everything. Say, there is no need for any introduction when it comes to the medium type question. So, introduction not required. Definition, yes, required, and you have to use 20 words for it. Only 20 words for it. Some definition shall be, or definitive statement, or anything which can very eloquently, which can scientifically explain your ideas on that particular topic. So your first line has to be a master stroke, always remember it. Now it has to be beautifully worded but not poetic. Don't use poetic language in geography at least. So introduction is not required. Definition, yes, required, 20 words you have to write. Then we have significance of the topic you have to write, because geography is a science which relates to man. So, and the best definition of geography is also the study of the surface of the earth as the home of mankind. And we are living in an era of welfare geography. So any topic from physical geography has to be connected with human welfare, or it has to be at least connected with our future, or maybe how the sustainable development of our progeny can be maintained. So must write on the significance part with human perspective, always with human's perspective, and you have to devote here another 15 to 20 words. Now the fourth section is the body or the demand. So obviously body, out of 300 words you have to construct body in 200 or maybe 220 words. More has to be more emphasized. Body part has to be more emphasized. And what is the body? Where you have to meet the demand of the question. How to understand the demand of the question? So you have to understand the question with these two terms, interrogative term and the substantial part. They say reasoned account, provide a reasoned account. Reasoned account was the substantial part. Provide an account, that was the interrogative term. Now body 200 words, then you have conclusion. Then you have conclusion, and in conclusion you have two things. A is the summation and B is the futuristic vision. Now in this medium type question, summation is again not required, but futuristic vision you must write in 50 words, because your examiner is going to read your introduction, look at the diagrams in the body part where you are trying to meet the demand of the question, and then he will simply shift over to the conclusion, what you write in conclusion. And as I have told you that in the futuristic vision part, that is the space where you can put your extra syllabic knowledge, or your vast reading and the acquired knowledge which you have gained by reading all those great scientific magazines and newspapers. So here you can incorporate your extra knowledge. So this space for me is very special. This creates impression. The diagrams in the body part creates impression. The introduction, that has to be majestic always, because the examiner is going to assess you, evaluate you by reading your definition or the introductory part itself. Okay. In short question, introduction is again not required. Definition, yes, required. Significance is not required. Body part, yes, required. And it will be roughly 120 to 150 words, the body part. Conclusion, again you have to present only the futuristic vision. This is my most favorite, area. Futuristic part, futuristic vision. Now look at the short question. Short question, don't begin with any kind of introduction. Be straight. So being a straight meaning a straight way on a definition. I will be taking up number of questions or maybe 5-year questions from oceanography in the next video, and then I will be explaining how to write a short answer, how to write a medium answer, and how to write a small notes. It's very, very important for you to learn the difference between these three, and that is what will enhance your marks, and that will give you a particular structure. You can always have in your brain that if there is a short question, then how to approach. Now how to approach a short question? So as I said, start with the definition, definitive statements, or something which is very scientifically can be scientifically explained or expressed. So start with definition, then don't write on the significance part, then write on the body part, and then end with the futuristic vision or your extra knowledge. So your short question, then you have the third one, notes. So notes will consist of 100 words or 150 words. Always in geography optional you will find, or even in GS you will find that the questions are mostly, a lot of questions are there around 10 to 5 mark questions are there, and you have to write there 100 words, sometime 150 words. So in that case, you don't have to create introduction, obviously not. Now don't try to write definition also, even definition is gone because there is no space. The word limits are 100, so in 100 meaning only 10 lines to be written, or maybe 12 lines to be written. Now in 12 lines you can't afford to write, there is no space for writing definition. So introduction, definition gone, significance also gone. Don't write on significance. Come to the body part. If you talk about the body part, yes, this is the most important part. So you have to straightway meet the demand of the question, and that is what will consume your say 80 words or maybe 100 words. In case it is of 150 words, then you can make it 120 words, 80 to 120 for demand. And then obviously my favorite area, the futuristic vision. So here in the futuristic vision you can add maybe another 20 to 40 words, and that makes your answer writing complete, holistic, beautiful, appealing and charming. So please remember that for civil services and now even in UPSC examination, the same pattern is being followed. So when this same pattern is followed, you have to do home practice, lot of practice through test series or by taking questions at your own table and trying to write them. The medium type question you must practice, the short type question you have to practice, and the notes you have to practice. That is the design of your optional, that is the design of your whole mains examination. And even in GS it works. And for essay, I want to tell you that any essay you want to write, you have to have these 5 parts, or rather 6 parts. There's 5, and the 5th one is divided into 2 parts, summation and futuristic vision. So when you write an essay, the same format can be applied. Any essay must begin with a kind of introduction. Then you have to write the definitive part. Say you are writing on democracy. So democracy hai kya? What is democracy? How it shall be defined? That will come in the definition part. Say you are writing on women. Empowerment of women. So what is women empowerment? That too. If you are writing on climate change, so also definition of climate change should come here. So always remember, even in essay, this format works. and the body of an essay is also about meeting the demand of the question. And what is demand? I am repeating again, the interrogative term or the questionnaire, and then the substantive part or the theme, not really the theme, or the element of that question, element of that particular question. So you have interrogative term into, and then write the conclusion. Conclusion is summation plus futuristic vision. I hope you will like this video, and I hope you will watch this video 2 or 3 times the minimum, because I have gone through this entire process of discussion as a rapid fire round, because longer videos are unsustainable. That is what people are telling me. So I have done a firework for you, but I hope you will learn something here. And wait for my classes beginning on 15th October 2020. And I will be giving both English and Hindi medium lectures separately. And please join me, subscribe me. Thank you for the day. Thank you.